we're doing mobility, and our project is for Smart Street, and we're gonna start with a little short video about general idea, give you a general idea of this area. Yeah, so as we all know, Copenhagen is very famous for its best hiking system in the world, and also for its best safe living area in the world. So, but there's still a lot of issues going on especially in this area, such as taxing, biking, drunk biking, parking spaces for both cars and bikes, and road sharing, poor lighting at night, and therefore we thought a lot about how can we make the community, the neighborhoods safer, and also bring people together more than they're doing now. So the solution is like to make more lively and feel with socializing and having for people to have to socialize more and having a good time on the street, not just at home or in the bars. So so we took the Stefansgata as our street to prototype this idea, and Anna's gonna talk more about the solution.
Yeah, my first time with a mic, so I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah, we wanted to create a better experience for the street on Notable, and we decided, as he said, to focus on Stefansgata to test our idea. We were very much inspired by Jägersborggata, very popular street here, and we wanted to expand that experience and create an interactive flow, which is now the name of our concept. Stefansgata, as also a personal experience, tends to be quite dark at night and also in winter time when the sun goes down so early here. So by enhancing social interaction and making it more lively, we're also making it feel more safe. As our topic was mobility, we looked up the word in the dictionary to understand it, and we found a really good description that was the quality of being mobile. So our street would be mobile in the way that it changes depending on what is going on in the street. And we're making the street car-free by creating a tunnel. And the idea is then that, for instance, if there's a flea market going on, which is very popular here, the street would recognize the objects and the crowds and steer the pedestrians and bikers in the direction through the street. Same goes if you have an outdoor concert, for instance, then the pedestrians would probably be steered behind the scene. So you'll always be recognizing what is going on the street. And the street would also be able to recognize if you have been there before by collecting data. Probably for something like facial recognition or something. We don't know what's going to happen in 10 years, but or it can also be used where you have interactive games in the street. So if you play the games, then you can also remember that you have played the game before. And of course, the street could also welcome you with a personalized message, say, "Hello, Stefan." And of course, we could also collaborate with all the cafes and shops in the street. So if, for instance, if you bike past Mikeller, they could come a message that says, "Well, we have a discount on your favorite beer now, please stop by." And this way we could also use sharing economy, because we could can have a huge database with a lot of information that would be useful for all the neighborhood, like all the shops and cafes in the street, and also to just enhance the experience in the whole neighborhood, because you probably have the same people right in the whole neighborhood, and then you could use that data to create something better throughout the whole Nørrebro. Yeah, now Nay will talk a little bit more in detail about our idea.
So in order to clean up the street for people and bikes on the ground level, so as Anna mentioned before, we're gonna have the cars passing through the underground tunnel, and also we're gonna add some parking, underground parking spaces down there, so to reduce the stress of street parking, and also we decide to have some sustainable systems going on underground. When it's so to collect some waters and reuse when it's raining or in case of flooding underground. And as for the ground level, we took out all the very obvious public facilities like tables and benches from of the restaurants or shops or bars, and replaced them with the sort of folding furnitures. Those furnitures can be folded into many different ways, and they can be small, they can be big, whatever you want. And if you don't want them, you just free the street. You can just fold them back and take them away. So it's very flexible. And also, when some events like flea markets is going on, and you're taking out the furnitures, the street will compromise and suits the best situation with the furnitures. So that's pretty much our idea, and